I know I'm live. I just want to make sure that I don't, like I can't hear myself. So we'll see. I think if I exit out of this, we'll see. Hopefully I am not just live, but it's not paused either. So I didn't make it public on my little YouTube. So, Grand Rising. All right. So as we kind of just allow a couple minutes for people to come in and out, however they please, I've got a couple places that this video is being streamed to, and we of course are inside of our Zoom, which is inside of our expansion hive pod inside the cosmic hive. If that confuses you or you're the teeniest bit of curious, let me know and I will explain more. But for those who know, who are here through there, Grand Rising, I see you, I feel you, I'm so excited. So this session today is basically a three-part series where we are going to um, step into our embodied truth of our highest timeline, right? So this first one is more about getting out of, let's see here, how did I put it? Becoming the person who can hold the vision, right? Um, what if the thing standing between you and the life you desire wasn't money? It's not timing. It's not even knowledge, right? What if the greatest gap between where you are and where you want to be is just simply identity? The simple identity that you are currently operating from is coming from past experiences, old belief systems, and kind of the unconscious aspects of ourself. You know, we grow up um, and we develop our programs, and then we have experiences in this life, and we learn how to respond to those experiences via our belief system, the programmed um, truth that we know, or as some would even say, the limits, right, that we are experiencing off of or from. And so it's to really be able to recognize those differences in order to move forward with change, because the only way that you can change is by how you respond to things. It's the actual action. We can think the thoughts, we could fill into the energetic alignment, but if the actions don't follow in that alignment, then we will loop back around over and over and over. Now, of course, in this session, we will be we'll be breaking through some belief statements. We will download some that are more serving. But first, before we get to those parts, let's do, a few little exercises to really get you to understand where you're at now and where you are going. Now, I love this thing that I heard the other day. It was this amazing woman that I newly found on TikTok, and I absolutely love her. Oh my gosh, she's incredible. I don't know her name or anything. She's so new, but I commented on one, and then I'll see her come up again and again. And so for the last couple of days, I've had her in my ear. Not that I'm on TikTok a lot, but every time I go to post, I stay on, I engage after I post something, so that way it kind of tells TikTok I'm not a bot, right? Well, each time I do that, I see a couple videos of her, and it's amazing. And what she said was, she plays the universe and she plays just a regular human role, right? And in this little skit that she does, super cool. And she says, all right, universe, I'm ready to jump into my new timeline. And the universe says, jump into a timeline. You don't merely jump into timeline, you become the timeline. Something to this effect. She says it a lot better, and she might not have even said that, but that's what I got from it. I really like the perspective of it not being this mystical, foreign woo thing, this actually being a scientific, real material thing. You are the timeline. I like that. I don't think she said that at all, but I really like that. You are the timeline. And so, with that being said, understanding what that means, right? So, I wrote a couple things down here. Like, there are two versions of you, the current version and the future version, right? This current version was built on those past experiences, and the future version is built on conscious choice, or you can repeat that same version and stay on that course. But until you consciously choose to become that new timeline, you will find yourself in a loop, find yourself in patterns. Now, I've had some major, major breakthroughs, and these have caused me to really second guess myself. Not even second guess myself. It has caused me to really step into trusting myself instead of second guessing. And I think with that, it has been such an emotional roller coaster for me the last 6 months. You know, when you make this decision that you're becoming this highest timeline and you move forward and you start living that life, then all this weird stuff happens. At least for me, you know, I went through all kinds of guilt and shame and I don't deserve it, to having to learn how to step into that deserving and living from that worthiness place. That for me, it was probably and still has to be one of the most difficult things to really understand about my identity, is that I do deserve it. And it's so crazy because I know I do, but to actually live from the place of deserving is new and different. And, you know, I wasn't necessarily told that I'd never deserved anything when I was a kid necessarily. It was more of just how life happened and me creating that observation of where my place is in the deserving. And you know, I'm from a big family, and so my own deserving was put last. We're also taught as people, and especially as women, to put yourselves last, right? So with that, it is a whole new experience of learning this deserving identity, this deserving role. So with the current self, things are familiar. They're predictable, they're comfort seeking, and they are survival based, right? So moving into the future self must be intentional. It's an expanded version, right? You're vision driven. This isn't about something that has already been proven, that is programmed, and that you know, and that you experienced, and you understand how it works. Even if you don't understand, you at least know you survive it. And it's purpose based. And that can be something extremely exciting and terrifying at the same time, especially because you get to be the creator, right? So when we think that, we're like, hell yeah, this is awesome. And then you start living it, you're like, oh my gosh, I have to consciously show up as this vision all the time in order to really put yourself into that identity, to experience it enough to allow your system to learn the role. And so doing exercises, meeting and doing these things, this is probably, um, you know, I held back on showing up and hosting as much because I felt like, oh, well, I don't know about this experience. I haven't conquered it. I'm not a professional about it yet. And that's really not what I'm being asked to do as a host. I'm being asked to go first, to lead, to be raw and honest. And so um, this is me just showing up in that way now. I don't have it all perfected, and it might even change, but doing these exercises really clarifies to me how on the right track we are. And so we want to ask ourselves a couple questions here. And, we want to ask what habits that we keep in um, our current life alive, right? What habits are really not serving us that are keeping this current self in flow? And then what habits feed that future version, that version of you that has the conscious showing up and designing your reality from that space. So grab a pen and paper. I'm going to pull up a couple questions that I have, and I have my paper's full. I have to get to a clear paper, but I have a notebook too. I'm going to do these along with you, so that way I kind of, when I don't do them with you, I feel like I'm either doing it longer or enough time. So I'm going to do it with you, so I can just kind of go with the flow. I wrote down, I think, like 5 or 6 questions. There's 5 questions here. The first question, when you're ready and you have the pen and paper, I'm just going to continue because for those who will be watching the replay, you can pause it. And those who are here, we have enough questions, I promise. Go grab that pen and paper. You should have already, anyways. I've told most of you, some of you that are newly kicking in, grab that pen and paper. So question 1 is, what does my future self no longer tolerate? What does, actually, I could put this on that paper. I'm creating this new little program. These questions would be good for it anyway. So, what does my future self no longer tolerate? It's a good thing to write too, because really being able to get it out on pen and paper is is magic in itself. It really is it's a type of alchemy. It's a type of the manifesting, whether you're releasing yourself, no longer tolerate. Mm. I'm just going to write down like 3 things. Oh, I guess 2. Let me see what the third one is. What does my future self no longer tolerate? All right. So as you're just kind of writing, if you need a little more time, I'll just share mine. What does my future self no longer tolerate? Cheating on my boundaries. There are many times where I set the boundary, I hold the boundary, and then I allow it to, I allow something else that's contradictory at a different time, or I maybe will say yes instead of a no, or vice versa. So that's what I mean by cheating on my boundaries. Believing thoughts. I no longer tolerate thoughts. I will lead thoughts. I will place thoughts where they are needed. Um, but thoughts are just noise. And you are what is in like the orchestra, the person who, it's not a conduit, the person who like leads the orchestra, says what music to come in, what music to stop. It's like the coordinator, but composer? Is that it? Is that it? Yeah. So instead of just believing thoughts, I will lead those thoughts. I will create what I need. What I have been doing lately is making sure the first thing that I listen to is something of like affirmation style music, or something that puts thoughts into my head that are ones that I prefer my belief system to believe, because it makes my body feel better. When you believe that you're a failure, your body follows and it feels like shit. When you believe that you are a leader or enough or whatever it is, your body follows it. Your body just follows it because it's what's being told. It doesn't know the difference between what is true and what is not true. It just knows that it gets to be in this dance or swim in those thought waters and flow with it. It gets to like move with that flow. And so if it's constricting, of course your body's going to feel constricted and move from that constricted place. If it's freeing and in alignment, it's going to move from that place naturally. And then not showing up anyways. One of my biggest things is my sunrise synergy. There has been times where it's not been consistent, and I have watched myself. And so lately I have been showing up anyways, and doing it, instead of just a small simple meditation. It's I'm actually doing alchemy, and um, and that's what I'll continue. I will not I will no longer tolerate anything but that. Right. Question two is, what does my future self protect fiercely? What does my future self protect fiercely? All right, I'll just talk while you guys continue. What does my future self protect fiercely? My three are self love, care, and trust. This is one of them. My self love, care, and trust. I am protecting that fiercely. Uh, Also, something I protect is my alignment. To expect That's why it's so important for me for the sunrise synergy, and it really is allowing myself to set that energetic stage, and that is what keeps me in alignment. And then I have my soul synergy, which is at noontime, my little quick check-in, and then sunset synergy, and that's more of like an alchemy, a winding down, a reflecting, but it still is in alignment. And the days that I do this on a more reoccurring, um, I actually do it even when I'm down in the dumps and whatnot. But my goal now is to make sure I'm documenting it. It's making sure I'm going live about it. It's making sure that I'm leading it in that way, and not for the sole purpose of making sure that I'm connecting with community and getting out there in that way for Cosmic Hive to build it and stuff like that. Although it's a good one, but really it's to allow myself to be able to reflect, to be able to really see um, this journey, and to move from that space. So for me, it's more of like documentation. Although I'm super excited about building community and relationships with people, and being able to, for those who are drawn to me, to be able to really be that person that can shine a light, right? And so as I allow the hive to work through me, move through me in that way, for others, it's for myself. And this has been one of the biggest ways for me to really be able to do that type of self-care and to stick with it. It's when I'm doing something for someone else or when I'm supporting someone else is like my purpose, my drive, my why, right? My get up and go. And in that motivation and in that intention, I also am choosing that for myself. And it is amazing. Although sometimes it can be a roller coaster. I am a very emotional being, I have learned. As much as I tried to hide all that part about me, for my whole old self, I'm realizing, yes, and you know what? It is okay. It's okay to just accept the fact of I am an emotional being, and is actually beautiful. And also my third one is to the expansion of my higher self. This is something that I'm protecting fiercely. And who am I protecting it from? My old self. There isn't anyone out there that's saying, no, don't you dare become that expanded version of yourself. Right? I mean, maybe there's some haters out there, but whatever, but really it's my old self. My old self is like, um, you know, the one that fights me on that. So hopefully you have some stuff down. If you want, you could always throw them in the chat. I would love to read them. I don't know if I could really see chat right now. It should kind of pop up on my screen. I don't have to read them out loud either because we are live and sometimes sacredness is the key. So I could read them later or post it in the expansion hive in the comments of this replay. And then that way we can go through it. And also that really helps me move into the next session, right? All right. Question 3, what does my future self do daily? So really feel about this one, think into this one. As you guys are really talking or writing down what your future self does daily, I just kind of explained mine a little bit, my experiment, if you will. And my experiment being to do this live, to document it. And I think it's beautiful to do that. I've had this goal, and each day that I get up and I don't do it, I have been hard on myself. And so recently I threw that all out. I said, I'm not going to be hard on myself. And you know what? The second I threw that out is the second I started doing it. So it's for me, I guess the restrictions or the authority that I put on myself and these requirements are what was restricting me instead of just allowing flow to flow. There's going to be some days where I jump up and it's 4 a.m. and I'm grooving and moving and setting that energetic stage. And then there's other days where I have to show up and push myself. And in those times, I want to be free enough to do this publicly anyways. Yeah. So daily sun, for me, it's the sunrise synergy, which sets the energetic stage. I move through any somatic alchemy that I need to, 'cause sometimes the body just doesn't align with where your goals want to be. And then that way, it probably doesn't match because there is those thoughts that loop through. So to recognize those, to alchemize those, and to move forward. The midday check-in is a great way for that. And then that sunset synergy is really that reflection, like I was talking about. But in between all of those, what also my future self does daily is to incorporate exercise because it feels good. It's therapy for me to incorporate being outside. I do this anyways, but my future self needs it as well, is to really be able to be in tune with the earth. She is one of my purposes of being here. And so to be able to connect with her through plants, trees, waters, elements, animals, whatever that is, even if it's just to put my feet in the ground and say, "Oh, thank you for holding me." Or it could be really these deep conversations with her. It kind of involves all of that. And also, my future self daily really cares for herself. She takes time to look great and feel great. And she speaks um, very highly of herself. And she speaks elegantly to the world. There isn't gossip, and I'm not one to gossip a whole lot anyways, but there's definitely times with certain people where I can. And so, is that necessary? And if I can look at it from a space of reflection versus gossip, then that's different. So, really being able just to have conscious communication, um, and purposeful. If it's not helping, then it's hurting, right? So that's something that my future self does daily. Writing down this future stuff that you do daily really will help you choose, especially in the times that it's harder, where you just want to resort back to the old ways. This is something that could really help you move forward that way. So, question number 4: what conversations does my future self stop having? Kind of shared this a little bit before. So, as you guys are talking, or excuse me, writing everything down, what conversations are you stopping? For me, is the conversation with myself of hatred. I am the biggest bully to myself. Maybe because I'm not a bully to many other people, but when I get to really bad with myself, um, and more so it was more like last year was a couple years ago was probably my biggest, most bullyingest. I found that it really starts to trickle outwards. So even when it was just directed inwards, when someone else would say, oh, so and so did this, then I would probably be more angry about it or something, or more judgmental about it. And so I have found that in the reflection of, that's the stories I stop. That's the conversations that my future self does not have. And so for me, um, that reflection and that acknowledgement has really helped me move forward in my being consistent with my future self conversations. And then I'm going to go ahead and do question 5. For those on the replay, you can pause this and use however much time that you need. But the last one is, what standards does my future self live by? And so for me, mine is consistency. Consistency is it, for right now, until I find more. But showing up when I feel like I don't have a right, showing up when I feel like I don't have a single clue. This is something that I'm going to live by, is just simply showing up and taking action, conscious action at that, and being able to really push myself forward, moving in that direction, even in times that I do not feel like it. There are times where I'm like full force, there's no stopping me, and that's great. I feel in total alignment. But those times when you're like, I know this is right, but I don't know how to do this, still doing it anyways. Even before I jumped on this event, I had that creepy little thought saying, you don't deserve this. You haven't been showing up 100%. And, who do you think you are? And I'm just like, I am Trinity. Damn it. I'm doing this. I'm showing up. And it just feels great. Feels really good. So those are my standards that my future self will live by, that I am setting. So now, as you just kind of move through, we quickly fill into this inquiry. You don't have to really write anything down, but you just wrote down a whole bunch of information. Now, when we move into these new ways, there are these thoughts that come in and they say, I am not ready, right? They say, oh, what's this change? You don't know change. You don't know how to do this. Someone must lead you. You are your leader, right? You are the leader. Maybe there's an activation from someone or something, a sign or the universe, or, someone like me that's hosting an event or something like that can activate this, but you are the leader. And so with this, really quick, the thought of, I am not ready. I just want you just to feel it in your body for a moment. Oh, I'm not ready. Now there's going to be different kinds of emotions. Maybe that's an agreeable emotion. Maybe it's, you're resisting. Maybe it's a fight. But now ask, is it true? And maybe your answer was yes. And if it was, or even if it wasn't, can you absolutely know that that is true? That you're not ready? Can you absolutely know? Now, how do you react when you believe those thoughts? What is it in your body? What are the thoughts that are following? Now we're going to do a turnaround. And this thought is, I am ready. Now, when you have that thought, I am ready, some type of evidence probably shows up. Maybe it's just a feeling, or maybe even in the no, there's still going to be something that pushes you to know that you're ready. I am becoming ready. Feel into that. Just allow yourself to lead your body with, I am becoming ready. Now, with that little flow of movement that you have shifted through those different thoughts, what is your process? What was the process of that? And were you able to land on you are ready? Just curious. Let me know in the discussion board or in the comments. And we can move forward in the next session, kind of based off where you landed there. So I'm going to read about a whole bunch of different statements. And then we're going to go into the hive for about 10 minutes. We're going to do these clusters of statements in alchemy. And then we are going to move that into our body and kind of close the session up. So here are some statements that we created. I'm going to say them as if we are already releasing them. So that way your body and mind can kind of go into that. Because when we go into the alchemy session, I'm not going to say the statements like I usually do, where we do one statement, we clear it, we check it, we do the next one, we download it, we check it, and so on. I'm just going to kind of have these. It's just like a new little thing that I'm trying out. We could have them in our awareness, and then we're going to go into the hive and allow the hive to do the alchemy. We'll see how we like this. And of course, I want your feedback on it. So the ones to release are this. And of course, in the hive, this is the intention to release these. I release the belief that success is unsafe. I release the fear of being judged. I release the need for approval, the fear of visibility, the fear of failure, the fear of success, the fear of disappointing others, the fear of responsibility. I release the identity of playing small. I release self-doubt. I release comparison. I release hesitation. I release the old version of me with gratitude. And we'll be clearing those. And then in this next cluster will be the downloads. So ones that we will integrate into your subconscious belief system. Beliefs as it is safe to evolve. It is safe to be seen. I trust my growth. My expansion serves others. I honor my purpose. I trust my intuition. I lead with integrity. I am capable. I am worthy. I am supported. I trust my path. I embody my future self now. I choose expansion. So Other things may come up when we go into the hive, but those are my intentions of leading with. So I'm going to go ahead and close my eyes. You are invited to follow along. If you're driving, of course, don't do so. Let me take a quick drink. All right. Sa orta ata mahoista aila hasikina hatuko orta ani haleharu u sakatnihist. Beautiful. Saria tuku uni hishtakata ile hatuku ui ka asapu unahai. Take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Another deep breath in through the nose. Make this the largest of the day, pulling it in. Hold at the top. Relax that tongue, the forehead. Slowly exhale through your mouth. Push everything out, contracting, pushing everything out till you can't anymore, and then just push a little bit further and hold that exhale. As you hold that exhale, kind of lean into your body, open that chest, relax your mind. On your next inhalation, follow that breath into your body. Move deep into where your soul source energy ignites. You light that up and you expand your light, allowing it to get bigger and bigger and brighter. Allowing it to expand until you are fully consumed within your light. Even with your eyes closed, everything is brighter because you are your light. Observe how your body reacts to this light and expands with it. Go ahead and invite the cosmic hive energies, allowing them to swarm all around you, to flow through you, and to come from within you. Siano tushta ay kalahatukuna ay sikiti shta anahai kilaha urutopoyana. Kinatokoya kaya satashnai. Just allowing yourself to feel those energies. Moving you into the cosmic hive arena. In this arena, we see one another and we move towards the center. We come together. Through these intentions, we'll first clear statements that no longer serve. The intention of moving from this current version that is built on past experiences, beliefs, and actions, to break through the limitations of this so current self, and to move into an expanded version that allows me to consciously design my new reality, allowing myself to seek the clarity of that identity and to fully embody this version. We're going to clear these statements of fear, limitation, resentment, unworthiness. Saurtushna sakatai na haila hautu yaka apu uina hatai. Sali hatukurishta anahatai. Saoti amatochushka tatatai. Piala horutukuna hataya. Sikutushna sotokoi. Sapotai lahataya sakata ile hatuku uruta ana hasate yashto usta ayakatusta aina hata kaisato kuta yasata ayasta ayasta. allowing your energy body just to kind of be fully exposed, opening and allowing to transmute. Taura tata sto kesta ina hai lahato oya lahata kai na hai lohoro to oya ka una po oya kai sata isti isu tu to ya na hata kai tu uko to apota kai nasta sto utai. Now we're going to download or install the statements that are more serving, that allow a more vast experience, a limitless experience. Taur yatuku no hotoista onasti se kitale hatuku urota puya dasnasta. That you are safe, that you are worthy, that you are deserving, that you are confident in the movement. You trust yourself so much that as you move, you build the confidence. You understand the clarity. Not before, but as you move. Daurieta kanasta sotoya lahata kaya tu urto pukanasta stai sitile hitu kuno koya sato ore apo orsti anakatai si sototoina hataya. Da una hat. Porina tatatai ka alohostus nisti kitastai ita aruto omohaka orta anasta. Siatus nosta, sia umba anahata a kiana tokoya ka ikata ayako ika ik ak oik ak ook ak. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now just absorb that transmission, allowing your energy body, your chakras to kind of not really close up, but to not be exposed, right? We're now sealing this alchemy in. So just kind of seal it in. We're going to shower off with this protective light, and you just kind of shower into that purity. And then you move all of that into your grounding cord. And the moment it touches the grounding cord, it then goes directly down into Gaia, connecting, anchoring in. And so it is. Now, just being present with yourself, with your energy body, with your human physical body right now. Allowing yourself to move into any direction in your body that you feel any type of resentment or off alignment, and just move that energy. You are fully capable of redirecting any dis-ease. If it needs to be exposed, expose it. You just feel into that. You feel into what feels right, even if it feels different and new. Allow yourself to observe how this new feeling can exist in your body. Maybe you don't have the confidence and the clarity just yet of how it really lives in your body, but you know that it is safe. You know that it is expansion. You know it is what you are asking for. And so we do not jump into the new timeline. We are the new timeline. And so as you become this timeline, your body moves in every direction it needs to create the container of this timeline so that you are at your highest timeline energetically. And when we start to allow ourselves the grace to move as this version, we consciously co-create that identity. Feeling your posture change, your body shift under those commands, under those new energetic boundaries, this energetic stage that you're setting right now. Everything follows through when you command to be the highest timeline. And so just feel it, be it. You be it until you see it. So just feel into. It's okay if you have been one way your whole life and now moving into this new energy, that part shifts. It's okay to say goodbye to old ways, even when they served and possibly still can serve. But the universe is just showing you, is reflecting to you, is giving you that mirror image of it's okay to expand from that. It is okay to move in the direction of newness. It is okay to treat yourself differently. It is okay to show up in new ways. It's okay to change your mind. It's okay to take action. It's okay to rest. Then you just feel into the expansion of you. For those who are in their rest state, then I say, stay and rest, expand in this energy, expand in this version of you. For those who are in the more active stage or state, then I say, start to sway and move. Feel into how your body feels, your skin. Is what you're wearing what you need to be wearing? Are you ready for the day? And if not, how are you going to get ready for the day? Taking on these actions from this energetic state, you will slowly shift. Because even when we are repeating the same actions, but from a different energetic state, things start to shift. Then you start to realize that you will react in different ways, in more expanded ways. And maybe some of those ways are going to tell you, oh, that's not what I want. That's not in alignment. That's okay. That just gives more clarity. It will build that confidence because you trusted yourself to try it, to learn, to understand, and to make the decision of whether it is you or not, whether it deserves space in your energetic timeline or not. Now just kind of feel in your body this new identity. Kind of, you can even take a breath and raise your arms as if you're pulling this version around, and then just pull it back down into you, like pull your hands down as you exhale. Start to wiggle your toes. Start to, in your mind's eye, really see this version of you, her feet or his. Just kind of wiggle those toes. And as you are filling into this version and you're seeing it in your mind's eye, this version, don't allow it to look too different from where you look right now, because we're not going to be jumping from here all the way over to this destination. We're just taking the step into the beginning parts of this timeline. How you look, feel, and who you are at the end of this trip or later, more deeper into the trip, isn't any different than this version right now that is becoming, right? The difference is that is the first steps. So really see yourself how you are now, but feel it as this version and really just start to move your body in it. Move your spine. Allow the cracks and the pops to happen. Move that energy. For those that can, you slowly open your eyes and just kind of start to move. I'll invite you to take a walk. Now, when you take a walk, either put something in your ears that is positive, that is expansion, whether it be good, energetic music, or maybe a podcast that is motivating and inspiring. Spiritual Amplifier is an incredible one, just saying. Our sister Tan, it's amazing. Or allow yourself to connect with what's happening around you. So if you're taking a walk outside, to listen to nature, you know, what sounds from nature are you hearing? Can you, when you pass a tree, can you connect intelligently with that tree? What is the tree speaking, right? So things like that. Or, you know, just don't have the human conversations in your head. Lead your body in the direction of who you are becoming. So tell yourself who this is. Maybe even daydream a little bit as this version of you as you are walking. This walking meditation will alchemize and really, what's that word? Embody. Allow you to embody this version because you are your highest timeline. Take a nice deep breath in and out. Now go have that walk. If you are in the resting period and you are going to just rest, move into that daydream aspect. Allow yourself to get creative, to have a little bit of fun, whether it be soft fun or excitable fun that gets you going. Whatever way you choose is perfect and in alignment with who you are becoming as you are jumping this timeline, so to speak. I love you. Make sure to comment so that we can move into our next section of really being able to integrate or alchemize anything that we are needing to shift from old current version to this new expanded version. I love you so much. Thank you for being here with me today and connecting.